I'm going to start with death, because then maybe I can gather my thoughts on the life piece. But I knew immediately what I wanted to say for my view on death, and I totally believe that death is not the end. And I think that outlook is mainly because of our faith and our belief in reincarnation in our faith. Um, Death is, I think, the way I've understood it in my head is like the the mark of us forgetting. Death is us forgetting, and then each life is us remembering again. So I think then my view on life would be um, a journey of us remembering, a journey of our remembering. And I don't want to say that life is necessarily a means to an end, but it's a means for us to achieve our goal, depending on our goals in this life. But of course, I think with Tawheed, it's a oneness of God, or oneness with God, unity with God. So I think the journey, our life would be a journey of getting closer to that. And it's a series of moments and tests and tribulations to get us to that point. I was pretty young, but when my jiddu passed away, I remember a lot of people saying, um, oh, somebody just got blessed with a new baby, like when he passed away, like inshallah he has a good life. And then as the years would go by, they'd be like, oh, he's 5 years old now, he's 6 years old, like in his new life. So I think that those like those moments and those kind of beliefs that my community held and my family held reflect our like shared belief in Tawheed of reincarnation and the fact that death is not the end. She was telling a story about just about a guy. I'm not sure who it was, and I don't remember the specific details, but just a man who had suffered, unfortunately, like a traumatic death. But going into the next life, he remembered details from his past life. So I think those things kind of reinstill our faith in the idea that death is not the end, and like that shared belief of reincarnation again. I'd say that death always kind of scared me just because it's unknown, and the unknown is always a little bit scary for me. But I'd say that my shared belief, like with our shared belief in my family, is like your death is not in your hands to a certain extent. Like, yes, of course, there's tragic incidents and stuff, but when we're willed to go, we will go, and it's not in our hands as much as we think we're capable of like changing an outcome. We're not. So I think my family has a lot of faith in the fact that like when it's meant, when we're meant to go, we'll go. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it, but I definitely think that changes the way that we go about our lives, how we interact with the world. Um, I think that reminder is important because it makes us more grateful and more appreciative of the life that we're living. Um, but it is, I don't think it's a scary thing anymore, because knowing that it's not in your hands and that it's not the end per se, um, gives you faith in the sense that it's not over. This one life is only a small chunk of the many, many lives that we have lived and the many lives that we will live. Um, and we just grow attached to the things in this life. And I think that's what we mostly fear of coming to an end, is the things that we have in this life. But not to say that we won't have other lives. So that brings a sense of peace, knowing that it's not the end and that there will be more after. Knowing that like this life is a journey and we're supposed to be working towards the goal of unity with God, or like strengthening our connection with God through these lives. And for me, like one of the main concepts, main points, like one of the main things I try to live my life by is like leading with love to others. So I think that has changed how I interact with people, or not changed, but I think I've become more aware of it with time. So in my interactions with people and the world in general, just showing more love, or trying to show more love in my daily life, to get closer to that outcome that we're all looking for in this life. I remember we had this belief in reincarnation, and I did feel inclined to like believe it as well. But the idea that this life was just one of many. And not to say it's insignificant by any means, because it is part of our journey, our greater journey. I think it was the challenge for me was to think about it as one small chunk of something bigger, because I have so many people that mean so much to me in this life and so many things that I love in this life, that it being such a small portion, I guess it threw me off a little bit. Also, the fact that I'll never remember it was a weird thing for me. Like, one day I'll move on to the next life and I won't remember this one. That was a bit rough for me to wrap my head around. But then again, when we get to that point, we won't be grieving what we don't remember. We just won't know. And we'll be starting over from scratch to re-remember everything, because I'm not sure if I said this in the first question, but life is like just a series of remembering, like just remembering what we have forgotten. And death is like marks when we forget. I'm not sure. But I see death as like forgetting and life as remembering. And then the cycle continues.